Let's move on to the Ekurhuleni Mayor Sivuyile Ngodwana has been ousted in a vote of no confidence. The ANC and the DA abstaining from this vote. And let's get more details now on this particular story. Mbalenhle Mthethwa, SABC News reporter, joins us live now. Mbalenhle, of course, this has been, one story that has been coming for quite some time now. You've spent a number of days in that council. Whether the motion comes, it doesn't come, there would be a start-stop to the process. Break things down for us of how we got to this moment where the mayor was ousted.
Know how long the journey to the removal of this mayor has taken, and finally it seems as though it has finally happened. Earlier we spoke to a visibly disappointed Sivuyile Ngodwana, who spoke to us on the sidelines of the council meeting, just explaining to us how he feels about being ousted by way of a vote of no confidence, saying that he feels somewhat disappointed by the agreement that they had entered into with the ANC, and telling the media that was present here that they, as the party AIC, would be revising and reviewing the relationship with the ANC. You will remember that some ANC caucus members broke rank while others abstained, others voted in favor of the motion, and that is what tipped the scales in favor of the motion, and we saw the motion therefore being passed. But the motion against the speaker was not as successful, with 90 voting in favor and 119 voting against the motion. So she stays in the position of Ekurhuleni Council Speaker. However, the mayor, on the other hand, was not quite as lucky. You will remember that there was some unhappiness from the ANC benches in the past, where they felt as though they believed that the party with the most numbers, or most seats and the most wards, should be able to take on the mayoral position, as well as occupy a majority of the positions in the composition of MMCs in the city of Ekurhuleni. It remains to be seen if that will indeed happen. I mean, shortly after the passing of that motion, we saw EFF councillors, who were the only members of that agreement or coalition, whatever you name it, were the only ones who voted in favor, or who only voted to protect the mayor, went to the mayor singing, the former mayor rather, and said he would be back, and they promised and vowed to bring him back. So after a mayor has been removed, we understand that the rules suggest that 7 days, after 7 days or 7 working days, a council meeting must be convened for the purposes of electing a mayor, and we are now going to be awaiting that. Earlier we spoke to the city manager, who expressed unhappiness over the removal of the mayor and the interruptions it could potentially have on service delivery, given that the adjustment budget has not been tabled before council. But just going back to give a bit of brief background to our viewers, we have seen councillors in this very council chambers coming to blows when they had learned that the ANC had made intentions clear to support the motion, but today they abstained and they withdraw those amendments that led to the council meeting being adjourned for the purposes of seeking a legal opinion as to whether the ANC and the DA could indeed amend that motion of no confidence that had been brought by Action SA. So right now I have someone next to me trying to bring someone to comment on the outcomes of this council meeting, but I can catch up with you later on. In the meantime, I'm going to try and get all the people that we need in order to get reaction as to what is going to happen next.
And Mbalenhle, those reactions will be quite important, especially when it comes to the issues of service delivery and how this particular council now charts a way forward. Another mayor removed in the city of Ekurhuleni. What does it mean then for service delivery, especially now when you have a city manager who is expressing concern, especially around the issues of the budget? So what happens then? And it will be interesting to hear from some of those in council as to what exactly for them becomes some of the areas of concern, but otherwise also even the process itself. I mean, within 7 days, we can then see a movement in this particular, in fact, in this particular development of whether or not the city will have a mayor. And if they do, who's the next candidate? How do the mechanics then work in the city of Ekurhuleni? So it'll be interesting to see then how this particular story unfolds. Mbalenhle Mthethwa is tracking this particular story for us and will bring us the updates as they happen.